Alright, you guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. Start off by saying Shalom. All praises to the Most High. Tonight's lesson, we're going to go into some information on America. Tonight's lesson will be called The Countdown of America. America's on a timetable, you guys. A lot of people need to wake up and realize that this country is on a timetable before a lot of different things happen. So tonight's lesson will be the countdown of America. That way we can get into some precepts and some information on what the countdown exactly is. So let's get to it. Alright, we're going to start off in Ephesians 6 and 11 tonight. So go to Ephesians 6 and 11, and tonight's title is called The Countdown of America. Okay. Just give me 1 second, you guys. See, that doesn't do everything but what I wanted it to do. Alright, go ahead, read that.
We're in the book of Ephesians. We're in chapter 6, verse 11. And it reads, "Put on the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand."
So it says, starts off in verse 11, put on the whole armor of Ahia, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. So it's saying, put on the armor of the Most High so you can stand against the wiles of the devil, so you can stand against whatever the devil has to bring. Let's break down the word wiles. Go ahead.
We have wiles, and it is G3180. Wiles is G3180, and it is Methodia, 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 and it is compare, method, travel, over, that is traversing, trickery.
So trickery. So wiles means trickery. So put on the armor of Ahia that you may be able to stand against the trickery of the devil. So in these last days, the devil is going to come in with a lot of trickery. A lot of different things are going to happen, and a lot of things are going to be going on, and the devil is going to be tricking a lot of people, because a lot of people are going to think it's the right thing to do. A lot of people are going to think it's something good going on, and at the end of the tunnel it's going to be trickery. Verse 12 says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood." So don't worry about each other in the flesh, your brother, your sister, your boyfriend, your husband, your wife, whatever, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. So we have to be worrying about the rulers of the darkness of this world, which is the government. The government is up to no good. The government has a lot going on right now, and if we're worried about each other in the flesh, arguing and stuff like that, you'll never be able to see what the government has planned against you. Verse 13, "Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of Ahia, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand. So in the evil day which is upon us, if you don't have on the armor of Ahia, you're not going to be able to withstand what's happening. Okay? Go ahead and read what I have right here so we can tell them where we're going.
We have Bilderberg member Laurent Fabius on May 2014 said we have 500 days before climate change.
So Bilderberg member Laurent Fabius in May 2014 said we have 500 days before climate change. This is what he said. This is a Bilderberg member. You know, anybody dealing with the Bilderberg, these people are big name people. These people know what's going on. Why? Because they're the one that's planning different things to happen. Go to Google, and when you go to Google, put in Bilderberg member. Okay, put in Bilderberg member Laurent Fabius, which is Laurent Fabius. Bilderberg member Laurent Fabius. Put that in and put on May 2014. So Bilderberg member Laurent Fabius on May 2014. And when you put that in, go down to the third link. And the third link should say remarks with French Foreign Minister Laurent Fabius. So Google Bilderberg member Laurent Fabius, Laurent Fabius, on May 2014 and go down to the third link. Remark with French Foreign Minister Laurent Fabius. All right, go ahead, read that. Give the date and everything. Yep. Give the title.
It says remarks with French Foreign Minister Laurent Fabius before their meeting. It says remarks John Kerry, Secretary of State, Treaty Room, Washington, D.C., May 13, 2014.
So it tells you that John Kerry, the Secretary of State, he was a part of this meeting that we're about to read with Laurent Fabius. Okay, go ahead. Yep.
It says, good morning.
This is Secretary Kerry.
Good morning, everybody. This is indeed a pleasure. Laurent Fabius, the Foreign Minister of France, has welcomed me to France more times than I can count. He's been an exceptional host and most importantly a great partner as we have worked together on issue after issue since I've become secretary. Second time we've been pleased to have him here at the State Department. He was here with President Holland not so long ago. But today, we have much to talk about in the context of our partnership and work together. France has been really one of the most steady partners in almost every single endeavor that we are engaged in, particularly on the challenge of reaching an agreement with Iran with respect to Iran's nuclear program, with respect to Syria, where we have worked from day one on our efforts to hold the Assad regime accountable to provide support to the moderate opposition. With respect to Libya, Mali, Chad, Maghreb, the entire Middle East peace process, Afghanistan. I mean, there really is not an issue where we are not able to find a path to be partners.
So Secretary of State said this is their guy. This is one of their big partners. All right. It says that these people from the United States, our government, is real good partners with this this foreign minister from France, which is Laurent Fabius. Okay, and says they have a really, really good relationship. Read on.
It says, one of the third paragraph says, in addition to that, we share major responsibilities of the P5. The P5+1 initiative on Iran is a significant one. We work very closely together in Geneva and in Paris and elsewhere in our efforts to advance those negotiations. So I'm happy to welcome Laurent here today. He's now working with an expanded portfolio in the French government in dealing with economic issues. I've said from day one, foreign policy is economic policy, and economic policy is foreign policy. So we find ourselves working in concert on those issues too, on the health of our economies and the effort to provide jobs for our people. So it's a great pleasure to welcome you here. Thank you, Laurent.
Okay. Go ahead, read the rest of that. Just skip down to where it says Foreign Minister Fabius. So now go down to his conversation.
We're at Foreign Minister Fabius. It says, well, I'm very happy to be with John. There is no week without a phone call or a visit between John and myself. And we have on the agenda many items, many issues. Iran, because negotiations are resuming today. The question of Syria, and we shall meet next Thursday in London together. Ukraine as well. And very important issues, issue of climate change, climate chaos, and we have, as I said, we have 500 days to avoid climate chaos. And I know that President Obama and John Kerry himself are committed to this subject. And I'm sure that with them, with a lot of friends, we shall be able to reach success on this very important matter. And it's always a pleasure to meet with John. We are working very closely together, and we speak either French or English. But the most important point, whatever the language is to inaudible case, mercy. Thank you.
So this guy comes on and says they have 500 days to avoid climate chaos. Now, what does that mean? 500 days to avoid climate chaos. Okay. So climate chaos is what we're going to kind of talk about tonight for this first subject. He said we have 500 days to avoid climate chaos. Now, I didn't do this yet, but I'm going to do it with y'all. So let's go to Google. See what we come up with. Put in 500 days from, what's this date that they're talking? May 13, 2014. So 500 days. All right, let's put 500 days after. 500 days after May 13, 2014. See what they're talking about. See what date that gives us. All right, 500 days after, no, there's a date. From May 13, 2014. So 500 days from May 13, 2014 is looking like September 25th, 2015. That sound about right? Yeah? So September 15th, 2015 is what is showing here in the article when I look. When I put that in, 500 days after May 13th, and I go all the way down to the last link where it says, will climate change advocates shut up on September 25th, 2015. So this man is basically saying in this article last May that we had 500 days before climate change. And that 500 days will take you all the way to September 25th of this year. Right? What we're looking at? Because they do what? 365 days in a year, right? So let's just do it. Let's do the math. So 365 days from May 13th, 2014, and then from May, so 365 days will bring us to this May 13th, and then you would need what? Another 135 days that gets you to the 500. So another 135 days will be what? September 25th of 2015. Y'all see how we did that? So the guy said we have until September 25th of this year before some type of drastic climate change. That's what we just read. Okay? Now, so I started doing some research when I read that. We have an asteroid named Bennu, Bennu, that is supposed to cross paths with the Earth on September 23rd through September 26th of this year. Scientists say that we have a major asteroid that is supposed to cross paths with the Earth on September 23rd through the 26th of this year. And the name of that asteroid, they gave it a name, is called Bennu, B-E-N-N-U. So go to Google and put in Bennu, B-E-N-N-U. So remember, this foreign minister Fabius said we have 500 days on May 13, 2014. He said we have 500 days to avoid climate chaos. Climate chaos. That sounds, I ain't never heard of such. And then when you calculate 500 days from that day he said that, it took us to September 25th, 2015. So then I found this asteroid named Bennu, B-E-N-N-U. Go to Google and put that in and go to Wikipedia. And it says that this asteroid is supposed to cross paths with the Earth on September 23rd through the 26th of this year. So that's right on point on what this foreign minister Fabius was talking about. Read them the Wikipedia for Bennu.
We're on Bennu, coming from the Wikipedia. And it reads, the Bennu is an ancient Egyptian deity linked with the sun, creation, and rebirth.
Read it again.
It says Bennu is an ancient Egyptian deity linked with the sun, creation, and rebirth.
So we'll stop right there. So Bennu, they named this asteroid that's supposed to be crossing paths with the Earth on September 23rd through the 26th of this year. The 500 days after the guy says we're going to have climate chaos. What could give us climate chaos? An asteroid. And this asteroid is named Bennu, and it's an ancient Egyptian deity linked with the sun, creation, and rebirth. Rebirth will be our key word tonight. So this asteroid supposedly is named Bennu, will be bringing in rebirth. Read the rest.
It says, it may have been the inspiration for the phoenix in Greek mythology.
So now you see why Arizona is Phoenix, Arizona is so huge in the science world. Your NASA programs, all those different programs is linked right back to ASU and U of A. Arizona has their fingers tied into to NASA and science, technology, big time. Read the rest.
It says, according to Egyptian mythology, Benu was a self-created being said to have played a role in the creation of the world. It was said to be the Ba of Ra and enabled the creative actions of Autumn. It was said to have flown over the waters of Nun that existed before creation, landing on a rock and issuing a call that determined the nature of creation. It was also a symbol of rebirth and was therefore associated with Osiris.
So it says it was associated with Osiris, a symbol of rebirth. Read the rest.
It says some of the titles of the Benu bird were he who came into being by himself and the Lord of Jubilees.
So they called Benu the Lord of the Jubilees. Why would they call Benu the Lord of the Jubilees? We'll break that down when we get to the scriptures. Go ahead.
The latter epithet referred to the belief that the Benu periodically renewed itself like the sun. Its name is related to the Egyptian verb wabin, meaning to rise in brilliance or to shine.
So it says Benu, in their term, was the Lord of the Jubilees. Okay? So remember that when we break down the scriptures tonight, when we go into the scriptures tonight on the Jubilees, then you'll be able to see what it's talking about. So just a recap. We read an article from the foreign minister Fabius. Okay? And this article was on May 13, 2014. And on May 13, 2014, the foreign minister Fabius said that we have 500 days to avoid climate chaos. And when you do 500 days from May 13, 2014, it brought us to September 25th of 2015. I told you to look up this asteroid named Bennu. Bennu is B-E-N-N-U. Bennu asteroid will cross paths with the Earth on September 13th through the 26th of 2015. Bennu is linked with the sun, creation, and rebirth. So Bennu means rebirth, okay? And Bennu is supposed to be the Lord of the Jubilees. So these people with this asteroid, okay, are trying to do some type of thing dealing with rebirth. Let's figure out what they're trying to do. Let's go to Isaiah 48:7. So we're going to link this to the scriptures on what they're trying to do according to this asteroid that's coming in, which is dealing with rebirth is what they call it. That's why they named it Bennu. We're just going off of what they called it. Why did they name this asteroid Bennu? And then when you look up the word Bennu, rebirth, and it's Bennu in their Greek mythology is the Lord of Jubilees. Isaiah 48:7.
We're in the book of Isaiah, chapter 48, verse 7. And it reads, they are created now, and not from the beginning, even before the day when thou heardest them not, lest thou shouldest say, behold, I knew them.
So the rebirth of mankind is on its way. Okay? These people got to trick up their sleeves, you guys. We already know there's so much going on. You have martial law getting ready to go in place. You have a new world order. You have vaccines in our food, vaccines in the insects. They're doing everything. And now something big is going to happen here. All right? And through this Bennu asteroid they're talking about, which is in relation to rebirth, they're trying to rebirth mankind. The birth of machines. So the same thing you've been seeing in your movies. I Am Robot is a good movie to base it off of. You got machines that is now basically that's taking over mankind. And the mother brain on that movie is what? A big old machine. And it's a her, right? She's the one, the mainframe, right? She's in control of everything. This is kind of what they're going into, you guys. Listen, they don't bring these movies out just for fun. They bring these movies out to show you exactly what their plan is for the future. And shame on you for not paying attention to them and seeing what it is that they're about to bring. They are trying to birth a new race. Their goal is to completely get rid of the human DNA. They're trying to corrupt our highest creation. Their goal is to completely get rid of the human DNA and bring everything through the rebirth of machines by chipping you with the microchip to where you'll become a robot. And then everything around you will be robot based. A rebirth of a new race is what they're trying to do. That's why this asteroid that's coming is called Bennu, is in relations to rebirth. Listen, this foreign minister, Fabius, didn't get up there on May 13th, 2014 and say you have 500 days to avoid climate chaos for no reason. These guys talking in these terms because they know the average eye and the average ear will not be able to understand what they're saying. But when you listen to it and you break it down and you listen to it again and break it down and you listen to it again, now you might get an understanding on, hey, these people listen. It's clear as day when you break it down. All right. So now that we know who Bennu is, and now that we know, read Isaiah 48:7 again.
In the book of Isaiah, chapter 48, verse 7, it says, "They are created now, and not from the beginning."
So they are created now. All right. So this new rebirth of mankind with the machines and with the chip that they're going to be putting in people, you're going to have the mother frame, which is a big old computer, which is the beast that's going to run everything. It's almost like the movie The Matrix. You remember the movie The Matrix when Neo, when he first got brought into the Matrix and they had to reprogram him and everything, and you remember he woke up and he was inside that like egg thing almost, and he cracked open, and then when he looked up he seen all these other babies inside these eggs, and they was getting like fed through this tube and stuff. Listen, they show you these movies because this is what they're going to. Everybody's going to be created here after a while. You're going to be a machine. You're going to be created. They're going to get rid of the DNA. They're going to kill it off to where you're not going to have babies the normal way, as Ahaya put it here. It's going to be due to the way they want you to be formed. So we have to come together as a group, unite right now before they bring in this new world, this new race of people. Because when they bring in these new race of people, those new race of people are going to be so united to where if you and I are not united, they're going to separate us like that. But we have to be united on our front. We have to put on the armor of Ahaya. That's why we read that first. We have to put on the armor of Ahaya right now so we can withstand the evil day. Because the evil day is right upon us. All right? And if we're not strong unity together, they're going to break us down. So that's why we must do whatever it takes, you guys. We got to put all of our brains together. We got to start working together as a team. Not just one, not just two people. We all got to come together and give our input, our goals, and really, really, really work as hard as we can to stay in the spirit so we can fight this. So we can get out of here, because it's coming. Whether you like it or not, it's coming. The machines are here. And I truly believe what we just read, come September, that's when they're going to try to enforce the chip on everybody, and that's when they're going to break out their machines. It's going to become a machine world from there on. And if you don't agree with the machines, and if you don't agree with the robots, you're going to get taken out. And you're going to be chipped. That's why we got to get out of here, you guys. We already know what the Bible says about you being chipped up. We have to get out of here before they enforce that new world on us. That's what the new world order is about. The new world order will be about these machines. The dollar falling, okay, dollars fell. Now we got the machines to replace what's happening. Let's go to Daniel's 9:1. So now let's break down what it means when it's talking about the Jubilees. Bennu, we broke down Bennu. It says Bennu is an ancient Egyptian deity linked with the sun, creation, and rebirth. So we just broke down the rebirth part that they're bringing in with this asteroid that's coming. Along with the foreign minister Fabius, who said we have 500 days into chaos on May 13th of 2014. And 500 days from there gives you September 25th of this year. And the asteroid Bennu is supposed to cross paths with the Earth on September 13th. Now, when I say cross path, it's a possible chance that this asteroid that the scientists are talking about is going to hit Earth. And if it hits Earth, that's going to be the climate chaos that he's talking about. That's why he says we have 500 days to avoid climate chaos, because they don't know what to do. They don't know how to avoid this asteroid that's on its way. Daniel's 9:1. Go ahead.
We in the book of Daniel, chapter 9, verse 1, and it reads, in the first year of Darius, the son of Osiris, of the seed of the Medes, which was made king over the realm of the Chaldeans. In the first year of his reign, I, Daniel, understood by books the number of the years, whereof the word of the Most High came to Jeremiah the prophet, that he would accomplish 70 years in the desolations of Jerusalem.
So let's break that down. So it says, Daniel says he now understood the books, the numbers of the years where the word spoke to Jeremiah the prophet, that he would accomplish 70 years in the desolation of Jerusalem. Okay? So we're going to get into some information on how to break this down. Let's break down desolation.
We have desolation, and it is H2723. Desolation is H2723. And we have Karaba, and it is CHARBAH, Karaba, and it is properly drought. That is by implication a desolation, decayed place, desolate place, destruction, laid waste.
So desolation, all right, the word desolation means drought, all right, decayed place, destruction, laid to waste. Give them the Webster definition for decay.
We have decay, and it says have fallen from a good or sound state, impaired, weakened, diminished.
Read it again.
Decay is having fallen from a good or sound state, impaired, weakened, diminished.
So desolation, which means decay, having fallen from a good or sound state, weakened or diminished. So right here, where Daniel was talking about, Jerusalem was falling. It had fell from becoming a sound and good state to a weakened and diminished state, to nothing. Okay, so this is what Daniel was saying right here. And he says that he would accomplish 70 years in the decay, the desolation of Jerusalem. So 70 years will go by. What he's talking about, 70 years will go by for Jerusalem to be in a decayed state, a fallen state, a weakened and diminished state. So this is what he's reading right here. So write down the number 70. Okay, write that down. That's key to this. So write down 70 years, because we're going to break this down on what Daniel's seeing here. So he says 70 years Jerusalem will be in a decayed state. Verse 3.
Verse 3, we're in the book of Daniel, chapter 9, verse 3, it says, "And I set my face unto the Most High Power, to seek by prayer and supplication, with fasting and sackcloth and ashes. And I prayed unto the Most High my power, and made my confession, and said, O Most High, the great and dreadful power, keeping the covenant and mercy to them that love him, and to them that keep his commandments."
So it says he's praying to him, saying, keep your mercy, all right, and your covenant to them that keep your commandments. He promised us some things through his covenant. He says, keep your mercy through them, all right. Keep that covenant that you promised to those that keep your commandments. If you're not keeping the commandments of the Most High, you're going to be on the outside of what we're reading right now. Go ahead.
Verse 5 says, "We have sinned and committed iniquity, and have done wickedly, and have rebelled, even by departing from thy precepts and from thy judgments."
So we have sinned. So we all have sinned. We all have been a part of this. Until we woke up to this truth, a lot of us was not following these precepts. Until we woke up to this truth, a lot of us was not following thy judgments. So since we wasn't following his precepts and his judgment, we had rebelled and we had departed from the Most High. When we was following the religious, Jesus and all that other stuff, we had departed from a higher that's in the Bible when we was following the Greek gods. So therefore we was a part of this. So therefore we was a part of Daniel's vision in verse 2 when he says 70 years in desolation of Jerusalem. Jerusalem will be in a decayed state over this time that he's reading. And we was a part of the decayed state. We was a part of this because the 70 years has not completed yet. So we was a part of what he's reading right here. Verse 4. Verse 5, my fault. Just read 5 again.
It says, Daniel chapter 9 verse 5 says, "We have sinned and committed iniquity, and have done wickedly, and have rebelled, even by departing from thy precepts and from thy judgment. Neither have we hearkened unto thy servants the prophets, which spake in thy name to our kings, our princes, and our fathers, and to all the people of the land."
So when we was in this decayed state, which a lot of people are still in this decayed state, we did not hearken to the prophets. We was not listening to the prophecy of the prophets in the Old Testament. We was not hearkening to the words that was being said. Why? Because we wasn't following the precepts. But now that we've been woken up to the truth and we follow the precepts, now we're hearkening to what the prophets are saying. Like tonight, Daniel was a prophet. And we're hearkening to these precepts that he's speaking. Next verse.
We're in Daniel chapter 9 verse 7 says, "O Most High, righteousness belongeth unto me, but unto us confusion of faces at this day, to men of Judah, and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and unto all Israel that are near, and that are afar off, through all the countries whither thou hast driven them, because of their trespasses that they have trespassed against thee."
So it says we have confusion on our face. A lot of people have confusion on their face. Why? Because they don't understand the prophecies of the prophets. So when they read these things, they don't understand. That's why today you can go on YouTube and you can read A lot of people, even a lot of people talking about what Daniel's vision is right here. You got about 90% of the people that's on YouTube today that's talking about the prophecy of Daniel right here, and it's all wrong. Confusion on their face. Why? Because they truly believe that the people in Israel today in Jerusalem are the true people. And we just read in verse 7 right here, it says, and the inhabitants of Jerusalem and unto all Israel that are near and that are far off through all the countries, whether thou hast driven them. So it tells us right here that the true Israel has been driven into other countries. And since they've been driven into other countries, they have trespassed the precepts, they have trespassed the judgments of the Most High, they have sinned. But remember, we started off in Daniel 9:2 where it says, the desolation of Jerusalem. So the decayed state of Jerusalem. Jerusalem has been weakened and diminished because the Most High had to get rid of the people. So now that he got rid of the people that are now in Jerusalem, they're not worshiping the true power. So this is why Jerusalem has been diminished, because nobody there is trying to worship and follow the true power. They don't have the right spirit. The people with the right spirit is in the other countries. Verse 8.
We're in Daniel chapter 9, verse 8. It says, O Most High, to us belongeth the confusion of faith, to our kings, to our princes, and to our fathers, because we have sinned against it. To the Most High, our power belong mercies and forgivenesses. Though we have rebelled against him, neither have we obeyed the voice of the Most High, our power, to walk in his laws, which he set before us by his servants the prophets.
So he said, we have not, Daniel said, we're not obeying the laws of the Most High. Remember, we're reading that Jerusalem is in a decayed state. It says we're not walking in his laws, which was set before us by the servants and prophets. Remember, Jerusalem was scattered from Israel was scattered from Jerusalem. But that's why when you go to YouTube, like I say, many people that tries to break this chapter down, confusion on their face, because they'll tell you straight up that, oh, he's talking to Jerusalem, the people that are in Israel today. No, he's not. He's talking to us that have been scattered. Let's go to Jeremiah 17:4. Let's show you that we've been scattered. Go ahead.
We're in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 4, it says, and thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever.
So the Most High says, and thou, even thyself, was talking through Jeremiah, so remember, Daniel said in verse 1 of Daniel 9:1, Daniel 9:2, he says he now understand by books the number of years which the words came from Jeremiah. So when you go to the book of Jeremiah, Jeremiah says, and thou, even himself shall be discontinued from the heritage that I gave thee. So Ahijah gave us our heritage, was what? Israel. He gave us our heritage, which was Israel. But he says we shall be discontinued from that heritage. Why? Because we was not following him. So he discontinued us from our heritage. And he says, and I will cause thee to serve thy enemies in a land which thou knowest not. So if we're in a land that we know not, that means Israel is not in Jerusalem. That means Israel is in a land that they know nothing of, which is in the other countries. So the prophecy that Daniel is speaking of is not talking to the people that is sitting in Jerusalem today. But like I said, when you go to YouTube and you hear 9 out of 10 people break this information down, they'll break it down to where he's talking to the people that are in Jerusalem today. No, it's not. It's impossible. It's impossible for him to be breaking that down and talking to them when he says that you are afar off through all the country whether thou hast driven them. And Daniel 9:7. Okay? So the reason why we came here, remember, we broke down the word Bennu. Bennu is an asteroid, Bennu, that's supposed to cross paths with Earth on September 23rd of 2015. And the name Bennu means link. It's an Egyptian deity linked with the sun, creation, and rebirth, and sometimes had a title in the ancient Greek world as Lord of the Jubilees. So that's why we went to Daniel 9 because what we're reading right here is breaking down the Jubilees. We're going to break it down. But they call Bennu the Lord of the Jubilees. All right? And we also broke down the foreign minister Fabius, who said on May 13, 2014, that 500 days from May 13, 2014, the world was going to see climate chaos, which is this asteroid named Bennu that's supposed to hit Earth or cross paths with Earth on September 23rd of this year. But we're breaking down the Lord of Jubilees part right now. Daniel's 9 and 8, or Daniel's 9 and 10. All right, 11. Read verse 11.
We're in the book of Daniel, chapter 9, verse 11, and it reads, Yet all Israel have transgressed thy law, even departed, that they might not obey thy voice, therefore the curse is poured upon us.
So this is the decayed state that he's speaking of in Jeremiah 9 and 2. Daniel's 9 and 2. Daniel's 9 and 2 says that he would accomplish 70 years in the desolation of Jerusalem, which is the decayed state of Jerusalem. All right? And in that 70 years, we have transgressed thy law, even departing that we might not obey his voice. Therefore the curse is poured upon us. So the curse that we're going through here in America, all the things we're going through here in America, hardship, bad times, is part of the curse. Go ahead.
It said, we're in the middle of verse 11, it says, And the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of the Most High, because we have sinned against him. And he hath confirmed his word, which he spake against us, and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven hath not been done as hath been done upon Jerusalem. And, verse 13 says, As it is written in the law of Moses, all this evil is come upon us. Yet made we not our prayer before the Most High our power, that we might turn from our iniquities and understand thy truth.
And that's where we're at this point in time. We've turned from the iniquities of America, and we're trying to understand thy truth. That's where we're at right now. That's where our spirit is at right now. Because we was part of this decayed state that this Jerusalem is going through for the 70 years. We was part of it. But now we have turned from those iniquities, and we're trying to understand the truth. Verse 14.
Verse 14. Therefore hath the Most High watched upon the evil, and brought it upon us. For the Most High is our power, is righteous in all his works, which he doeth. For we obey not his voice. And now our Most High, our power, that has brought thy people forth out of the land of Egypt with a mighty hand, and has gotten the renown as at this day we have sinned, we have done wickedly, O Most High.
So it says, and has gotten thee renown. All right, renown. Let's break down the word renown. Go ahead.
We have renown. It is H8034. Renown is H8034. And we have Sean. We have SHAM. Sean. And it is through the idea of definite and conspicuous position, compare and appellation as a mark or memorial of individuality, by implication, honor, authority, character, Base, fame, name, renown.
So name, a mark or memorial of individuality. Name. So when the Most High gave us his name, when he brought us out of the land of Egypt, he gave us his name. Okay, that's what it's saying right here. Read verse 15 again.
Verse 15, in the book of Daniel, chapter 9, verse 15, and it reads in that, O Most High, our power, thou that hast brought thy people forth out of the land of Egypt with a mighty hand, and has gotten thee renown, as at this day we have sinned, we have done wickedly.
So the Most High brought us out of the land of Egypt. He pronounced himself, made a memorial, and pronounced himself, gave us his name, and then people continue to sin. People continue to do wickedly. People continue to follow other religions as if they were doing when Moses went up to the mountain. When Moses came back down, they was worshiping who? Yahweh, the golden calf, which is Jehovah. And people are still doing that today. Part of the 70 years. The 70 years is still going on. Jerusalem is still decayed. And people are still following all these religions as of today. The main one in America, Jesus, Christian religion. The Catholics, following Mary and the Pope. Muslims, following Allah. So this world is doing wicked because they're not following the true name that brought them out of the land of Egypt. Verse 16.
In Daniel chapter 9, verse 16, it says, O Most High, according to all thy righteousness, I beseech thee, let thine anger and thy fury be turned away from thy city Jerusalem, thy holy mountain, because for our sins and for the iniquities of our fathers, Jerusalem and thy people are become a reproach to all that are about us. Now therefore, our power, hear thy prayer of thy servant and his supplications, and cause thy face to shine upon thy sanctuary that is desolate, O for the Most High's sake.
So through Daniel's prayer, he asked for the Most High's anger to be, and his fury to be turned away from Jerusalem. Alright? He says, because of our sins and our iniquities of our fathers. So he says, can you please turn away your fury from us? Don't punish us because of our fathers. We know our fathers did wrong, but give us a chance, Ahia. Give us a chance to fix it. Jerusalem and thy people are become a reproach, a disgrace. Reproach means disgrace. Jerusalem and thy people have become a disgrace, a reproach to all that are about us. So Daniel, through his prayer, he was asking that the Most High turn his anger away and not punish us for all that our fathers did in the past. Give us a chance to fix it. Give us a chance to repent. Give us a chance to change this. That's why the Son came. Yeshua came. The Messiah came. He came to give us a chance to repent. Because before that, there was no repent. Verse 17.
We're in verse 17. It says, Now therefore, O our power, hear thy prayer of thy servant and his supplication. Cause thy face to shine upon thy sanctuary that is desolate, for the Most High's sake. O my power, incline thine ear and hear. Open thine eyes and behold our desolations in the city which is called by thy name. For we do not present our supplications before thee for our righteousness, but for thy great mercies. O Most High, hear, O Most High. Forgive, O Most High. Hearken and do, defer not, for thine own sake, O my power. For thy city and thy people are called by thy name. And whilst I was speaking and praying and confessing my sins and the sin of my people Israel, and presenting my supplication before the Most High my power, for the holy mountain of my power. Whilst I was speaking in prayer, even the man Gabriel, whom I had seen in the vision at the beginning, being caused to fly swiftly, touched me about the time of the evening oblation. And he informed me and talked with me and said, O Daniel, I am now come forth to give thee skill and understanding. At the beginning of thy supplication, the commandment came forth. I am come to shew thee, for thou art greatly beloved. Therefore understand the matter and consider the vision.
So now that Daniel's prayed and he's cried with supplication, great supplication to Ahia, and said, forgive us. Please give us a chance to fix it. Don't punish us for what our fathers did. Give us a chance. So then Gabriel came to Daniel and said, hey Daniel, through your supplications, through your prayer, through your crying, I am now come forth to show thee the vision that you're considering. I'm going to show you this vision that you're sitting here and you're talking about. You see it, but you don't understand it. So now I'm going to show you clearly on what the vision is talking about. Verse 24.
In the book of Daniel, chapter 9, verse 24, and it reads, 70 weeks are determined upon thy people and upon thy holy city, to finish the transgression, and to make an end of sins, and to make reconciliation for iniquity, and to bring in everlasting righteousness.
So it says 70 weeks are determined upon thy people and upon the holy city, to finish the transgressions. That's what we read in verse 2. Okay? So 70 weeks. All right, that's the key number here. Read the rest of that.
It says, and to seal up the vision, and when into verse 24, and to seal up the vision and prophecy, and to anoint the most holy.
And to anoint the most holy. Okay? So 70 weeks are determined upon the people and upon the holy city to finish the transgression and to make an end of sins and to make a reconciliation for iniquity and to bring an everlasting righteousness and to seal up the vision and prophecy and to anoint the most holy one. So after these 70 weeks, it's time for the Messiah to start coming. It's time for the Messiah to head home. After these 70 weeks that Daniel was reading here, it's time for the Messiah to come. Read verse 25.
We're in the book of Daniel, chapter 9, verse 25, and it reads,
Go ahead.
know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Israel and to build Jerusalem until the Messiah the Prince shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. The street shall be built again, and the wall, even in troublous times.
So in Daniel 9 and 25 it says, now therefore and understand that from going forth of the commandment to restore and to rebuild Jerusalem. So remember in verse 2 he said Jerusalem is desolate. Alright, the desolation of Jerusalem, which is the decayed state of Jerusalem. Right? Ain't that what we read? So now that we know Jerusalem is 70 years in the desolation of Jerusalem, now it says, from going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem unto the Messiah, the Prince, shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. And the street shall be built again in the wall, even in the troublous times. So in the troublous times, it's talking about these end days that we're in. Break down troublous.
We're in troublous. We have H6695. Troublous is H6695. We have Tazawaka. And it is TAZAWA QAH. Tarzan Walker. We have a straight, that is figuratively distress, anguish, troubles.
So distress. All right. So troublous means distress. Okay. So we're in distress times. Okay. That's what it means in verse 24. So now let's break down. So Daniel 9 and 24 says 70 weeks are determined. Okay, but then when we read verse 25, it says, know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem unto the Messiah the Prince shall be 7 weeks. All right, so now what we have to do here is take the 70 weeks that we've been reading on from Daniel 9 and 2 on down to here, when Daniel 9 and 2 says Jerusalem shall be in the desolation stage, which is a decayed state. We broke down desolation, and desolation means decay. Decayed means having fallen from a good or sound state. So Jerusalem was at a good state at one point in time, but then it became decayed, desolate. Decayed, having fallen from a good or sound state, impaired, weakened, and diminished. So Jerusalem has been diminished. Why? Because the true people have been scattered, and the true people are in other countries, and the things that are going on in Jerusalem is pagan. Like those people that are in Jerusalem right now, they got their 5-pointed star, they covering their heads, they're doing all kind of stuff. And then they got the true people, which is Israel and other countries, worshiping other gods. So Jerusalem was at a decayed state. So he says 70 weeks are determined on the people, and then 7 weeks, all right, shall be the return. So it says, verse 25, know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and rebuild Jerusalem, so the decayed Jerusalem, in order to rebuild it unto the Messiah the Prince, shall be 7 weeks. Messiah is the Son of the Most High, which is Yeshua. Okay, so what we need to do is take the 70 weeks that we've been reading on, and now take the 7 weeks that it says that it's going to take for the Messiah, and we times those two. Times 70 weeks times 7. And it should give you 490. So 490 years is the prophecy of what Daniel was reading here. 490 years through the prophecy of the decayed state of Jerusalem is what he's reading here. He says Jerusalem will be in a decayed state for 70 years, and then you take this, the 7 weeks, which is another 7 years, and you divide them, and that gives you 490 years that Jerusalem will be in the decayed state. Subtract 490 from 2015. So put 2015 and subtract 490. And what does it give us? 1525, right? Gives us the year 1525. Now let's do something here. Let's Google. So go to Google and put in what year. So Google, what year did the letter J come into existence? Google, what year did the letter J come into existence? Okay? All right. Google, what year did the letter J come into existence? Read, right? Go ahead, brother.
Says between 1478 and 1550.
Okay, that's when it was distinguished, but when did they put it into play? When did they put it into play?
Right, 1524.
1524. Let's read it.
I have, what year did the letter J come into existence? It says Gian Giorgio Trissino, 1478-1550, was the first to explicitly distinguish I and J as representing separate sounds. In his Epistola del Trissino le lettere nuovamente agenti nella lingua italiana. Trissino's epistle about the letters recently added the Italian language of 1524.
So Trissino, 1478 to 1550, was first to distinguish I and J. So through that time, he was the first one to distinguish the two. But he added the letter to the Italian language of 1524. Okay? And once they added that letter J in 1524, what came soon after that? Jesus. Right? Soon after that letter J was added to that language, then you get the Greek God, Jesus, that the whole world follows. At least America. And that's where majority of Israel is in America. So once the people started following this Jesus, it brought Jerusalem to a complete decayed state. To where now the whole world is following Jesus and nobody's following the true power, Ahia. What we read in, what was it, Daniel, let's see, he says that we was not following him in Daniel 9 and 15, when we broke down the word renown. He brought us out of Egypt to follow him, but then they brought in this letter J in this Greek God named Jesus and had us following Jesus. So Jerusalem is in a decayed state for 490 years until the return of the Messiah, until the Messiah is on his way back. And remember, you guys, we broke down earlier where this foreign minister, Fabius, said on May 13th of 2014 that we had 500 days to avoid climate chaos. That's what he said on May 13th, 2014. And when you do 500 days from May 13th, 2014, it gives you September 25th of 2015. So then I went and said, well, what's happening on September 25th of 2015? All your scientists in the world say an asteroid named Bennu, B-E-N-N-U, is going to cross paths with the Earth on September 23rd through the 26th of 2015. And when you look up the word Bennu, Bennu means Egyptian deity linked with the sun, creation, and rebirth. So rebirth, they're trying to rebirth a highest creation right around this time. This is when they're going to break out their machines. This is what I said. They're going to break out their machines. They're going to bring in the whole iRobot world. Robots. You're going to have the mainframe that runs everything. They're going to chip people, everything. They're trying to completely get rid of the human DNA and bring in this robot machinery world. Bennu also, one of the titles for Bennu in the Greek mythology is they call him the Lord of the Jubilees. What we're breaking down tonight in Daniel's 9 is the Jubilees. And at the end of the Jubilees is the number that I'm breaking down here. You guys now listen. This is something I've been studying. I've been reading, asking the Most High to kind of give me a vision. Ain't too many people talked about this. to kind of give me a clarity on what Daniel was talking about with these 70 weeks. The only thing I could come up with is multiplying the 70 weeks times 7 when you read the story, and it gives you the 490, and then you subtract it from 2015 where we're at, and now you can kind of see what these people got going on here in September of this year. And this is why the asteroid is called Ben-Nu, because Ben-Nu is, they say in their world, is the Lord of the Jubilees. So this September will crack the end of of Daniel's visions right here. This September will crack the end of the 70 weeks that we're speaking of. And Ben-Nu was supposed to hit right then, which is their Lord of the Jubilee. So he's supposed to be, Ben-Nu is going to be the guy that's going to take over the vision of Daniel right here, the Jubilees, and they're going to bring in their machinery world. And this is what's going to tee a high off and said, nah. Y'all ain't going to do that. Y'all don't got much longer. Y'all don't got much longer down there. I'm about to tear y'all on up. And if everybody ain't on the right side, you're going to get tore right along with these people. Let me say it again. Ben-Nu in Greek mythology is the Lord of Jubilees. Lord of Jubilees means he is the guy that's going to take over the Jubilees. So now that the Jubilees is being fulfilled in Daniel's prophecy, what we're speaking of here, they're going to have this asteroid that they're talking about that's going to hit in September come in and basically be the rebirth of mankind. Because Ben-Nu means rebirth. It's clear as day, you guys, what I'm talking about right here. Let's go to Luke 23 and 28. Now listen, I could be wrong. Okay? I could be wrong. But when I ask Ahia to guide me through these precepts, this is what I get. You don't have too many people breaking this information down. And the people you do have breaking this down is talking about 49 years. They're doing the 70 weeks times 7 and getting 49 years versus 490 years. They're getting 49 years, which takes you back to 1967. 1967 has nothing to do with the children of Israel. But according to their doctrine and their philosophy, it has a lot to do with the Jewish people, the Jewish world. So anytime you start researching anything and it has something to do with the Jewish people, false doctrine right now. Luke 23 and 28. Go ahead.
In the book of Luke, chapter 23, verse 28. And it reads, But Yeshua turning unto them said, Daughters of Jerusalem, weep not for me, but weep for yourselves and for your children. For behold, days are coming in the which they shall say, Blessed are the barren, and the wombs that never bare, and the paps which never gave suck. Then shall they begin to say to the mountains, Fall on us, and to the hills, cover us.
So, Yeshua, this is when he was getting ready to be crucified. Okay? This is when Yeshua was getting ready to be crucified. And he said right here when he was talking, he says, Daughters of Jerusalem, weep not for me. Don't weep for me. I'm going to be all right. But weep for yourselves and weep for your children. Worry about yourselves. Worry about what's coming for you. Let me read it again. Yeshua said, don't weep for me. They're about to crucify me. Don't y'all worry about me. I'm going to be all right. But weep for yourselves and for your children. Worry about yourselves. Because what they got coming for your judge, they're about to kill me, but I'm going to be all right. But when they come to kill you and what they're about to do to you, y'all need to worry about yourselves. It's going to be way more harsher than what they got coming for me. Verse 29. For behold, the days are coming in which they shall say, Blessed are the barren. All right. Break down barren.
We have barren in the G 4723. Barren is G4723, and we have Steros. Steros, we have Steeros. Steros, and it is a stiff and unnatural, sterile, acid, barren.
So barren, okay, barren means stiff, unnatural, sterile, barren. So he says, blessed are the barren, the unnatural. He says, so it's going to, for behold, the days are coming in which they shall say. So in the days, they're going to say, blessed are the barren, blessed are the unnatural. Which are these robots, which are these bodies, these humans that they're going to be making. They're going to be making humans now. Nothing's going to be natural. They're coming in to completely get rid of the human DNA and bring in their robots and bring in these unnatural births, unnatural things. So it says, for behold, the days are coming in which they shall say, blessed are the barren and the wombs that never bear. The womb that never bear means the wombs that never have babies. The natural is when you have babies, right? The wombs that never bear are the wombs that don't get pregnant. The wombs that never bear are the wombs that don't conceive, that don't bring forth. And the paps which never give suck. So when a baby is born, what does the baby do? The baby gives suck on a mother's breast. But the unnatural, they're not going to have to give suck because they're going to have another way of feeding. So Yeshaya says, behold, the days are coming. These are the days we in. The days are coming in which they shall say, blessed are the barren, and the wombs that never bear, and the paps which never give suck. So we are in that time, you guys, where they're bringing in these unnatural births, false DNAs, false people. Verse 30.
Verse 30. Then shall they begin to say to the mountains, fall on us, and to the hills, cover us. For if they do these things in a green tree, what shall be done in the drought?
So Yeshaya says, so when this day comes, when they have the unnatural birth coming in, which we already broken down, when they bring in this asteroid, Ben-Nu is called rebirth. Ben-Nu is rebirth, so they're going to be bringing in the rebirth of these new people, the rebirth of their kind, robots, however you want to look at it. And when this day comes, they're going to say to the mountains, fall on us, and to the hills, cover us. So what does that mean? They're going to be running to their tunnels. These are your underground tunnels when they say the mountains follow us until the hills cover us. They're going to run for cover in these days. And what do we have right now? They're getting these underground tunnels together like no other. Didn't we just read last month that they closed down 5 major Walmarts? Right? They closed down 5 major Walmarts in April to do reconstruction. And when did they say those 5 Walmarts will be reopened? Anybody remember? In 6 months. 6 months from that time that they did it is right at the end of September, early October, right? Do the math. So they're getting their Walmarts together so they can get these underground tunnels intact. Why? Because they have something major happening right at the end of September so they can run in those tunnels. Yeshaya is telling us right here what they're going to do. Yeshaya says that day is coming, Ben-Nu, rebirth, which are the barren and the wombs that never bear. And once they bring that world in, then they're going to try to run to the mountains, say mountains fall on us, hills fall on us to cover us, which is their underground tunnels. Verse 31, he says, for if they do these things in a green tree, so he says, so if they do these things in a green tree, what shall be done in the dry. So when they killed Yeshua in the green. When they crucified Yeshua, it was within the green tree. Everything was green. Is when he was crucified. Yeshua was crucified in the Passover, which is when? Spring, right? So Yeshua was crucified in the spring, right around Passover time. That's why we celebrate the Passover. So Yeshua was crucified in the green season. So Yeshua asks a question: for if they do these things in the green tree, so if they crucify me in the green tree, what shall be done in the dry? What's the dry tree? Fall. Fall is the dry tree. Right? When you look in the fall, when fall comes, all the trees are bare, right? Everything's drying out. So through what Yeshua is telling you, he's telling you right here that the barren and the wombs that never bear and the paths which never give sucks, the new world order, the rebirth which has been new, is going to happen in the fall, in the dry. Because he said, hey, they crucified me in the green, what shall be done in the dry? So he's letting you know that what their plan is going to happen in fall. So is this it? What we're talking about tonight? We got the foreign minister said you had 500 days after May 13, 2014 to get ready for a climate chaos. I gave y'all the breakdown of this asteroid named Bennu that's coming, and it's supposed to hit right around September 23rd to 26th. And if an asteroid comes any close to hitting this planet, it's going to cause some damage. It's going to cause some earthquakes. It's going to cause some tsunamis. It's going to cause some stuff. And look what movie is getting ready to come out. You know? What movie are they highlighting right now that's coming out? San Andreas. San Andreas is a hit right now. They advertising is coming out here in the next week or so. San Andreas, the big one, the big earthquake that they've been talking about for years. Now they finally got the movie coming out this summer. San Andreas. Why all of a sudden is this movie coming out right now? Because they know something's about to hit. America knows something's about to happen due to their heart system. Something's about to happen. So that's why in verse 30, Yeshua says, then shall they begin to say to the mountains, fall on us, and to the hills cover us. That's why they're getting their FEMA camps. That's why they're getting their Walmarts and their underground tunnels together so they can go under there, because they're about to hit this place. Something's about to hit this place, and they're going to be right underground trying to hide. And Yeshua shows us in 31 that it's going to happen in the dry time, which is fall. Let's go to Revelation 6 and 12. We got about 5 minutes and we'll close it out. Revelation 6 and 12. This is another sign. This is another sign right now of what's going on. Alright, Revelation 6 and 12. Go ahead.
We're in the book of Revelation. We're in chapter 6, verse 12, and it reads, And I beheld, when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood.
So, you remember all these blood moons that's been happening over the last couple of years. We have 4 blood moons dating back to last March. Last March you had a blood moon. Last October you had a blood moon. This April you had a blood moon. And the last blood moon of the 4, guess when it is? September 28th of this year. September 28th of 2015 is the last blood moon of the 4 blood moons that just occurred over the last 2 years. All around the same time. All around the same time. Read it again.
We're in Revelation chapter 6, verse 12. It says, And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake.
There go that San Andreas.
And the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood, and the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs, when she is shaken of a mighty wind. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman and every freeman, hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains.
So it tells you again right here, and the kings of the earth, which is the government, the kings of the earth is the government, and the great men and the rich men and the chief captains and the mighty men and every bondman and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains. Go ahead.
And said to the mountains and the rocks, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand?
So they know what they're doing is wrong with this whole rebirth thing that they're about to bring into play. They know they're wrong. So that's why they're preparing to go underground, because they know the Lamb is coming. They know Yeshua is on his way. They know once they do this right here, he's coming. See, they've gotten away with all this other crooked stuff that they've done. But they know once they do this right here, rebirth the creation of Ahia, and bring in their creation, they know the Lamb is coming. So that's why they're going to be ready to go run and hide, because they know that, listen, Ahia ain't going to stand back and watch this. He just stood back and watched Satan work in other ways and do everything else, but he ain't going to watch Satan take over his creation. The same thing he did right around the time of Noah and the flood. Right around the time of Noah and the flood, the angels came down. Satan sent them guys down here. And what was they trying to do? Rebirth, right? They slept with the daughters of men and bringing in these giants, these Nephilims, creating a new breed. Rebirth. So when they created that new breed, these giants, Ahia says, oh, no. You ain't taking over my creation. You ain't going to bring in a creature that I didn't create. It's time to start over. And he's going to do it again right here. But the only difference this time, there ain't no starting over. This is it. This is it. That's the difference this time. He ain't going to have us build an ark and save many people until he gets rid of it, and then we'll be saved. No, this is it. What's that movie? What's the name of that movie with that funny man that built an ark? Came out a few years ago. He built an ark, the funny guy. And the black man was God in the movie. Can anybody? What was the name of that movie?
It was not Bruce Almighty, but it was that dude.
It wasn't Bruce Almighty, but it was the other. Steve Carell. Steve Carell, the funny guy. He did a movie where he had to build an ark. Anybody know? Anybody online don't know what I'm talking about? Here, put it. Steve Carell, I think is his name. What was the name of it?
I know what movie you're talking about. I don't remember the name of it.
Okay. Well, we're looking for it. Evan Almighty.
Yeah, see, it was the same with Bruce.
Evan Almighty. Now, let me tell you guys something. Y'all might want to watch this movie again. Evan Almighty, in this movie, when he is building the ark, and you remember, what's the brother's name that's God in that movie? What's his name? Nah, the old man. What's his name?
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman in this movie, in Evan Almighty, you remember when Morgan Freeman told him to build the ark? And when he told him to build the ark, and when it got close to time when Evan Almighty was building the ark, and it got closer and closer to that day, Evan Almighty kept saying, well, what day should I have the ark complete? What day should I have it complete? And Morgan Freeman, which is supposed to be God in that movie, told him, don't worry, just have it done. And then the closer it got to that day, he finally told him the day that the ark needs to be done and complete. And guess what the day was? September 25th. Go watch the movie. Go watch the movie. It says September 25th, September 24th, September 25th is the day that the ark needs to be complete. Hey, listen. I'm just the messenger. Now, how you take it from here on out is on you. But when you put together the signs of their movies and different things, watch Evan Almighty tonight. I don't care if you watch it tomorrow, whenever. Watch when he asks. He keeps asking, what day should the ark be complete? And then Morgan Freeman, which is supposedly God in that movie, finally told him and said the ark must be complete by September 24th to 25th. So you guys, I'm not saying this is it, this September. I don't know. Listen, something's going to happen though. I'm not saying this is the day that Yeshua is going to come back and clear it all out. But hey, what if it is? What if it is? Don't you want to be ready? But even if it ain't the day Yeshua is coming back to clear it out, we know something big is about to happen. Just like in 2001, what happened? 9/11, right? 7 years later, what happened? Depression. The economy collapsed. 2008, 7 years later, the economy collapsed. Bush took the economy into a whirlspin. Guess what, yo? We 7 years out from 2008. Every 7 years, something kind of happens in America. 2001, 9/11, 2008, economy collapsed, housing collapsed, everything collapsed. 7 years out, 2015 is here. So we start putting together all the signs, you guys. That's why I say it's time to unite. It's time for us to come together. It's time for us to put our brains together so we don't be a part of this. Something's going to happen in September, you guys. It's too many signs. And if you didn't get all the information on this lesson, I will have it up by tomorrow. It will be on YouTube by tomorrow to where you can rewatch it and get all the information. Like I said, what we read in Daniel 9, the 70 weeks and the 7 weeks, that's just the judgment. That's just the spirit I got. The spirit showed me to calculate those two and to do the math what we did. And that's what I got. And that's why we got destruction happening this year in 2015. Something's going to happen big to where Ahia is not going to be too happy. And to where Yeshua is on his way back. Time is short. So with that in mind, we'll say, Shalom. All praises to the Most High Ahia. We'll pray it out. It's only me and Brother James here tonight because I told everybody else, me and Brother James got to go work right now, but that's why we're the only ones here. But we'll go ahead and pray it out. And if anybody have any questions, we can open it up for questions or any comments after the prayer. Brother CJ, you want to pray us out?